Thank you all for coming. We're a small group, but I'm going to make sure that it's well worth you coming tonight. I really want to thank Ruth. I mean, she put together really nice invitations, invited a lot of people, brought some great speakers here. So I want to say a special thank you to Ruth, and thank you for also letting me come out here and speak in front of you guys too. So before I start, I wanted to give you a little background on me. A few years ago, whether I be watching the news on television or listening to on the radio or reading the paper, all I would hear is, this is a bad economy. When's it ever going to get better? Is it ever going to get better? And the world's about to come to an end. Well, we survived that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it moved into October 21st.
October.
But anyways, you know, there's a lot of like doom and gloom out there already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I decided that, well, I came to the conclusion that there's really any time is a good time of opportunity. It doesn't matter how the economy is, really. And when I came to that realization, I started writing a blog. And the blog is called Spreading Financial Confidence, one post at a time. And because of all the doom and gloom, I'm only going to write about positive articles that are informative about the economy and financial topics and financial concepts that will hopefully replace any of the confusion and pessimism and replace it more with confidence and optimism. Also, what you're going to find on my blog is some uplifting personal development articles that might just inspire you to reach a little bit further and grow a little bit closer to your own full potential. And you're probably asking, why personal development stuff on a financial blog? Well, I strongly think that, you know, if you're going to try and change your circumstances, then you should start working on the thing that you can control. And you can control your own habits. You can't control the economy, and you can basically control yourself. So that's why I have personal development articles on there as well. So another thing about me is I'm a representative of Primerica. We're a financial solutions company, and we really focus on the educational side of finances. And this presentation I'm about to show you is not a Primerica presentation. It's something that me and a couple of my colleagues put together so that we could bring it in front of people and share a lot of these really important and powerful financial concepts. So, well, we have a handout table in the back, but I think everybody's seen what's on there. I have a card for my blog that you can find where my blog is, and I have a card, a Primerica card. And there's some really good handouts on how money works and how money works for kids, and also some information on Roth IRAs, because I'm going to talk a little bit about Roth IRAs in my presentation. So this presentation is just a tidbit of the full presentation. This Smart Start program, it's a unique program for helping parents, and I say parents, but it also includes aunts, uncles, grandparents, your neighbor next door. It's designed to help us raise money smart kids. So fact one is this little boy, Billy we call him, it's possible for this 6-year-old to retire rich at age 40. And he can spend the rest of the next 40 to 60 years of his life making a difference, becoming a person of significant influence, and leaving a legacy. Fact two is that, however, the odds are, regardless of how much his parents and grandparents love him, he'll have a difficult time retiring at age 70, and he will not be rich or a person of significance, only because no one showed him how in his early years. What we need to start doing is thinking a little bit differently. Most colleges teach kids that the skills to get good jobs so they can work for money. What we need to start teaching kids is how to make money work for them. Now, one of my favorite personal development gurus, Jim Rohn, he says, by the time a child turns 8, he should own 2 bikes, one to ride and one to rent. There's really only 4 ways to earn income. I know, me personally, I was always told, to strive for getting a job, getting a good job. So one of the ways to earn income is become an employee, just to get a job. And by getting a job, you have income based on position, not by the person, and you build no equity. There's also, you can become self-employed. You own your job, much like a dentist, a doctor, lawyer, hairstylist, real estate agent, but you're limited to the number of hours in the day and the number of people that you can see. So then there's also having a business. When you have a business, you own the system. You have others either working for you or with you, and there's unlimited income potential. And finally, this is probably what we all strive to be, as investors. I mean, especially if you plan on retiring, you're going to have to be an investor, because you want to have the money working for you so you can enjoy complete freedom. So you don't have to be a greeter up at Walmart or something like that, unless you want to. And this way you can live the dream. Don't you think your kids should know this before they go job hunting? That there's other choices out there than just getting a job. I mean, their primary goal in life should not be just to get a job. So as parents and teachers, we must first know the rules. And one rule I want to show you that I'm sure you all would agree is the primary goal of a business is to make a profit, right? But what actually is a profit? Profits are revenues minus expenses, aren't they? And who are in the expenses column? It's the employees, right? So a lot of times when businesses are trying to make higher profits, they take away benefits from employees and stuff like that. So not to bash being an employee, because I'm an employee myself, I just think that kids should know there's other options out there, because things like this can happen. You can control your destiny more, maybe, if you weren't just planning on being an employee. So I want to talk about the rules to the money game, because it's all about winning. It doesn't matter what you're playing, if you're playing a sport like football, soccer, or golf, or if you're just playing the money game. If you don't know the rules of the game you're playing, you're probably not going to have any fun, and chances are you're not going to win either. The money game is a fun game to play when you know the rules. And I was talking about sports. Most of these sports teams have tons and tons of players on them. But when we're talking about the money game, there's really only 3 players. And 3 players are, there's money, interest rate, and time. And when I ask most people what they think the most important factor in the wealth equation, or the money game, is, a lot of people are like, duh, money, and then I guess interest rate, and yeah, sure, time is important, but I guess it's the least important. But people are surprised a lot of times when I tell them it's just the opposite, actually. Time is the most important, interest rate next, and then money is last. That's pretty silly, right? Because the money game we're playing, why is money the least important? Well, I'll just prove it to you by just showing you this equation right here. This is really how you calculate a one-time investment. Like if you're just putting in like $1,000 and letting it sit for a certain amount of years, well, the PV, that's present value, that represents the money. The I represents the interest rate, and the N represents the time. And I'm sure even if any of you have failed algebra, I'm pretty sure you'll know which one of those variables holds the most weight. It's the N, because it's the exponential factor. And here's what it looks like for a periodic investment. Like if you're investing every month or something like that. But you know what? Good news is you don't even need to know these equations, because that's why we have business calculators and financial calculators. I just think that's so important, though, just to know that time is most important. And I'm going to show you a good visual of how you can see that this really is the most important thing. Because I'm going to show you some costly mistakes that some smart people can make, as well as their parents. I'm going to show you a lifeline that this cute girl, we call her Sabrina. She's about 6 months old here, and she's just happy. She doesn't even know what she doesn't have, or she doesn't know what she doesn't know. She's got her whole life ahead of her, and she's just as happy as can be. Now here she is at age 15. She's getting towards the end of her high school career, and she's getting ready for college, and she still has all these opportunities. She's excited for the future. Here's Sabrina. She's out of college now. She's into the working world. She's got a good job, and things are going good for her, and she still has her whole life ahead of her. But chances are, when she turns 65, the picture is not going to be so bright for her. So the fact is that most people really don't start investing until they're around age 30. So I want to show you at different intervals. If she were to just invest $1,000 one time, and we'll just say that it's making 12% interest, it's compounding 12% interest over given periods of time. So since most people usually wait till they're 30 years old to start investing, let's just do it. Invest $1,000 one time just when she's 30 years old and never put any more money in. Let's see how it compounds at 12% until age 65. That's going to be $65,000. So let's just assume she was making money at age 20. Let's just assume she put that same $1,000 down at age 20 as opposed to waiting all the way till she was 30. If she started at 20, that would have grown to actually $215,000. So really just waiting those 10 years from age 20 to 30, she incurred a cost of $150,000 just for waiting those 10 years to put that same $1,000 in an investment. All right, and now here's where we go into where the parents need to help the child out. Let's just assume the parents could have helped their child 10 years earlier, at age 10, invest this same $1,000. That would have been $700,000. So just waiting from 10 to 20, that's almost $500,000, the cost of waiting. Now, you have to be kind of creative, but it's still possible for the parents to have helped the child, right, like when she was 6 months old, to invest the same $1,000. Let's see how much the cost of waiting is just from 0 to 10. So that would have been $2.3 million. So just waiting from 0 to 10, the cost was $1.6 million. And so most people really don't put their money to work for them where it can make the most for them, and that's in the early years. But another cool thing is, if you were to make this a Roth IRA, then this all could be tax-free. And now that I mentioned Roth IRA, to max out a Roth IRA is $5,000. So let's just assume that all these were $5,000 instead of $1,000. All you have to do is multiply 5 by any of these numbers, and that'll give you the amount if they were to fully fund the Roth IRA one time. So most intelligent people today do not even know that they could have lost an $11 million plus tax-free opportunity for their children over the time between their birth and age 30. And this can never be regained.